I assume you mean aside from the comedy that would be watching Americans try and figure out how to use their lawnmower and their leaf blowers, watching Portland, Oregon people learn how to pump gas for the first time. It's like watching Bambi take his first steps, right? No, in all seriousness, jokes aside, what would happen is that, number one, companies would have to realize that their wages have to come way up. Way up, not way up as in $1 or $2 an hour kind of thing, but like up, like way up, like probably 5x, if not more, right? I mean, it's really that bad. The dollar has become just such a shit currency at this point that it would expose all of that. It would expose all of that inflation. And that's good. We want that. You want to have that happen, because it makes the Ponzi scheme collapse. And the biggest thing that we want to see is an unworkable, unsustainable Ponzi scheme like the US dollar implode on itself. And it wipes out all of this malinvestment. It wipes out the fake rich. I'm not talking, and let me be really clear on this, okay? Because there's a lot of you guys out there that think that soak the rich, tax everybody. Dude, I'm not on your side on this one, okay? Don't drag me into that shit. I don't care how many jets somebody owns. I don't care how many yachts you own. I don't care, how big your estate is. That stuff doesn't mean much to me and stuff. I'm good with you having all that stuff, provided you can afford to maintain it, I suppose. My issue is when you're deliberately trying to pull the ladder up so that nobody else can do that. Okay, that's my problem. And this, of course, is the challenge with when you run a Ponzi scheme that you're trying to keep alive, is that you have to perpetually start telling everybody, hey, no, you can't take your money out, because these handful of people here, they're super rich and they have a lot more leverage on me, and so you can't take your money out of any of this. Only these people can, and they can use it to go and do stuff like live their life and what have you. So no, it would end that. It would end the fuck out of the dollar Ponzi scheme completely. That would be the biggest thing that it would do. And it'd be the most healthy thing that could happen. It would be the greatest thing to happen, and this is not overstating the case. This would be the greatest thing that could happen to the U.S. since Cornwallis surrendered, okay? I mean, it would be that big a fucking deal. It would be the most healthy, uncomfortable thing that the country could go through. Don't be wrong. Oh no, it'd be uncomfortable. It'd be uncomfortable as all hell. There'd be fucking chaos everywhere for weeks and weeks and weeks. But for those of you who say, no, the whole thing would collapse and rioting, looting and everything. Dude, the average American cannot spend 10 minutes on a treadmill, let alone 10 days rioting and looting. So I wouldn't worry about that. No, it would just reset the market, right? That would be an actual, what you would call hard reset. And don't misunderstand. And this is why I get frustrated whenever someone says oh no, but it's about race. No, it's not about race. This is about cutting off a supply of people to add to the Ponzi scheme. Or this is cutting this off and saying, listen, no, we need to have a sustainable economy. What is an economy? Anybody been following me for a while, you know what the answer to that is, right? What is an economy? An economy is just people. That's all it is. It's not a building. It's not a government. It's not a theory in some college. Dude, an economy is just people engaged in commerce. That's it. That's all an economy is. And you have to let an economy run itself. In other words, you have to leave people alone, right? I get confused. I think people get confused when they say things like, oh, we need to vote for president. It's like voting for a boss. No, the president is not your boss. You understand? The president is supposed to be the servant, right? He works for you, right? That's how that's supposed to work, okay? You're going to change the way you think of that. But yeah, I mean, it would implode the Ponzi scheme. It would make the dollar go completely tits up like it's supposed to. It's a worthless currency. I've said before, and I've said it for months. Actually, I've said it for years now. The dollar is the single most worthless currency. The Romans couldn't make a currency as worthless as the dollar. And the Romans had pretty worthless fucking currency. But even they couldn't pull this off. It's the single most worthless currency that's probably ever existed on planet Earth is the US dollar. Based on, it's just nothing but endless amounts of debt, right? For you new followers that saw, you saw the math video and stuff that dude, that nothing's changed. Nothing has changed in the last, whatever it is, 2-3 weeks since I did that video. It's the same thing. The math isn't going to change. It's just going to get worse. The interest is, there is no way to pay this. There's no way to do any of this. There's no way to square any of this shit. So therefore, yeah, I mean, you allow the Ponzi scheme to implode itself. Real estate would collapse in price. It absolutely would. Now, price, by the way, stop thinking in terms of dollars, by the way. Now you have to start thinking in terms of like what other currency is out there. There's not very many of them that qualify to be hard currencies. And be cautious, all of you out there. I can't stress this enough, man. Like, I could do 30 minutes on this alone, and I'm not going to, but dude, anytime you hear a currency, somebody touting a currency that has the word backed in it, there is nothing more temporary than a backed currency. Something that's, it's backed by blah, blah, blah. It's backed by this metal, or backed by this commodity, or whatever it is. Really? Okay. Within 3 hours, that's not an exaggeration, by the way, within 3 hours or fewer, they will conjure more currency than there is shit to back it. Guaranteed. This is guaranteed. It is absolutely guaranteed. That's just how it works. Because if you put yourself in that position, right? Put yourself in the position of someone who controls the money supply, right? Put you in that position, right? And someone comes to you and says, we have this huge emergency. We need more money. And you say no, and then, no, please, you don't understand. We need more money. It'll be really easy. Just look, nobody will know. Just print a little bit extra. Conjure a little bit extra so that we can pay for this huge emergency. And there will always be a huge emergency. The trick, and every small business owner will tell you this. Any real small business owners out there, they'll tell you this. The trick is how to deal with those giant emergencies and be broke at the same time. That's where innovation comes from, by the way. Being screwed is the father of all invention. If necessity is its mother, getting fucked is in fact its father. Okay, that's where irritation, aggravation, these things are actually what kind of drive real innovation. Okay, they do. Necessity, right? I mean, it's kind of how it works. So I'm just telling you, that's how you do this. That's what creates your invention. That's why do you think that the U.S., for example, I mean, for those of you out there, let me get all patriotic for a second here. Why do you think the U.S. was so spectacularly wealthy and like hoovered up all of the world's wealth in something like 100 years? Why do you think that happened? It wasn't because they were out. See, that adventurous bullshit, that foreign where you go around and rob all the other countries and take all the resources, that shit happened later. That was way later on. For the first bit, it didn't happen. Why was it becoming so? It was because people didn't have big piles of money. They started figuring out how to invent shit, and that drove innovation. That drove invention. That's fucking huge, dude. That's huge when you start doing things like that. And especially when you have a people who are not afraid to fail over and over and over and over and over and over. Okay? I mean, some cultures don't allow failure, or failure is great shame. It can be, but not if you have a goal, not if you understand that no, failure is an integral part of success. You have to do it. It is required, right? But once you get past that, then you get to see the fruits of your labor. I'm not trying to give you a motivational speech. I'm just telling you that's how it is. So, no, I mean, it would do that. It would drive innovation. Don't get involved with anything that says where somebody says, we can have a gold-backed currency. There's nothing more temporary than a gold-backed currency. No bigger scams than gold-backed anything, or silver-backed or anything backed. No, you just go to hard currency. You go to an actual hard currency and you figure out. You let the market figure itself out. It'd take about a year. For real, take about a year for the markets. What is a market? It's people. Once again, the word market, the word economy, those are synonyms for people. That's it, okay? So your market, your economy, it will find its equilibrium. Once it's found its equilibrium, then you'll find out where things really are, and you find out that real estate in general is not the cash cow that all of you think it is. For reasons, I'll do all the other video on that kind of thing. But I mean, and I've done like dozens of fucking videos on that. But there's new information afoot. As the Venezuelan gangs take over apparently real estate and tell everybody to get fucked. It's kind of funny. Anyway, so in its own horrible way. So I hope that answers your question.